Okay, so for this video, figured switch things up and show something from my past and something that I've passed on to Clark. And I wanted him to be in this video. You might you might be able to hear him crying in the other room. He's not in a good mood and he was just throwing pieces everywhere. And so I put him down for a timeout while I review this thing. So he recently had a birthday, and so for his birthday, I gave him my old Fisher-Price Great Adventures Castle. I had so many just fun adventures with this thing. So many good memories. So here's the castle itself. It's still in really good shape. I was never the type of kid to just be real rough with my stuff, which is opposite of Clark. He's very rough with all his toys, which is kind of funny. But I got this thing when I was, I don't remember if it was kindergarten or maybe a little before kindergarten. But I was probably like 5 or 6 when I got this thing. And I played with it all the way up until I was probably 13 years old. Point that most kids kind of stop playing with their original toys and stuff. But I was always the type of kid that I wanted to hold on to things. I never wanted to get rid of anything. Showing some stickers, and these are all original stickers. Now, one of the things I did have to do is I had to super glue like this top corner. It was peeling off, so I had to super glue that just so it would still be good. And there's still some dust. I tried my best, and there's some stains. I had this thing in storage before I gave it to him for his birthday, and I had cleaned it off really, really good. And like I got up early in the morning and cleaned it really good, so it looks a lot better than it did. But it's still got some dirt and grime still stuck in the little crevices that are hard to get out. But for the most part, looks just like it did when I used to play with it, which makes me happy. Brings back a lot of good memories. So real quick, these are the characters it comes with. It came with 2, I guess this is like a mace, 2 mace knights. So there's the gold army, the lion army, which is the good guys that come with the castle, and there's the black knights, the dragon knights, you can call them, and they're the invading force. You got 2 flail knights, 2 axe knights, 2 sword knights, and lastly, you got the kings. And so what's cool about them is each one of them, only the kings, the other characters don't have that. But the kings, you could push down on their heads and make them actually swing their blades, which was really cool. And then as for the regular ones, their arms, each arm can be moved, but that's it. The rest of it's just a static, solid plastic figure. And so, when I was a kid, this guy right here was my favorite. The just regular sword knight. He was by far my favorite. But now, as an adult looking back, they're all really cool. I mean, I still liked all of them as a kid, but they got some nice little chainmail details molded into them. Here's some of the boulders that came with it. So now to show some features. This drawbridge keeps wanting to fall down. So one of the features is that the drawbridge can be lowered. There it goes. So it's got a little lever. I'll show that in a minute from the other side. So there's that. There's a moat down here with a crocodile. Or well, I guess it's an alligator. And this was also another little spot I had to put some super glue under because this sticker was peeling right here. Another feature is, I think you call that a portcullis. This gate right here you can lift, and you can drop balls down, or it could be a trap for an enemy. You could have this closed and then have them fall down through there. So kind of multiple purposes, so that's really cool. You got a little drop down ledge here, a rampart for enemies, or probably the good guys, but for your guys to stand on. And so like if things are getting too dangerous and there's enemies coming and firing projectiles, then they can retreat back inside and close that up. And then this is one of the coolest features, the drop down cannon. And it's got some force. And then, oh, one more thing on the top. This flips around to reveal a catapult, which is really cool. And it actually has some pretty good force too, just depending on how hard you flick it. So that's really cool. Okay, and from this side, you can see the inside. So here's the little mechanism to raise and lower the drawbridge. Over here, you've got a round table that can be stored in there. Yeah, see, I got some more cleaning to do. It's dirty back in there. But this table can be stored in there, and then when you're not using the table in there, it can be kind of like another dungeon for your enemies or something. It's kind of whatever you want it to be. There's some cool stickers. Got some sconces on the wall, some brick details. Here's the king's bed. Over here you've got a little area where he can eat looking out the window. That's about it for sticker details on the inside. Then you've got these really cool little spots where you can have your knights climbing up the walls. So you stick their feet in there like that and they can climb. So that's on that side. It's also over here on this side. So this can be like how your enemies climb the wall. And this over here is how the good guys can climb up from the back side. It's just really cool. It's just a good quality, solid plastic castle. Like, it just, part of it's maybe nostalgia. It just means so much to me like that. But I just feel like it's really well built toy. Like, you just don't see stuff like this anymore. And I'm so glad that I held on to it, because I've looked it up online and people sell it for a pretty penny. So I'm glad I've got this thing. So that's the original castle and the guys that it came with. And I believe it came with 3 boulders, but I could be mistaken because I've got 5. So I don't remember if along the way I ended up picking up some extras or if that's just what it came with. But I know at some point I ended up picking up extra stuff because I don't remember. I guess I got these from a resale shop at some point years later, because these are doubles of what I've already got. So, like, let me find them. So I've got 2 of him, and I've got 2 of him, and 2 of him. But this is the kind of thing where it doesn't hurt at all to have extras, because these are just your army, so they're massable. So it doesn't hurt at all to have repeats of guys, since they don't have like faces. That's kind of the appeal of these, is like none of them have their eyes shown. It's just part of the aesthetic to it. Really cool. Okay, so that's it for that. And eventually I got some accessories because I loved it so much when I got this. I think I got it for Christmas one year. So we went to the store later on at some point at Toys R Us. This was way back in the day. In like the 90s. And so I got this jousting set, which is really cool. And again, to show how I got another repeat at some point down the line. Don't remember where I got this from, but I got an extra horse. I don't have an extra knight, but I did get an extra horse. So these guys were really fun. And so once I got these, I was saying how the Swordsman was my favorite character. And he always kind of was, but he became like equally favorite to this guy. I love this guy so much when I got him. So how you do it is they would ride along, and the goal is just jousting. So whoever hits whose shield, like if this hits, it pushes this and it pops up the seat and throws off the rider. So whoever knocks who off is the winner. So that was really cool. Loved getting these guys. And then somewhere along the line, I got given these or something. I got this little dragon and this little guy. And he's actually a different material. These are like a PVC or whatever you call it. They're like plastic, but they almost got like a rubbery feel. And this one's just, so you can, I don't know if you can hear the difference. But this one's just like straight plastic. And only this one arm moves. So I don't remember if this like maybe came in a Happy Meal toy. And maybe the dragon did too. I don't remember all the details. I've not looked up anything about it. So another accessory I got to expand everything was this really cool Dragon Siege tower. And it came with two figures. This guy. And these are, I always use them to as like friendly to the Gold Knights, but I don't know. They're clearly something different. They're kind of their own thing. So this down here can come down. You can bust through on this thing. It's their battering ram they can ride on. So here's the other guy. This guy's really cool. He's got like a big, strong fist. He just like fights with his hands, whereas that guy's got a sword and a shield. And then this is actually broken. Something about this, because I do a lot of Lego stuff too, and something about this old red-brown color, it's just so brittle. And so whenever I got this out, I noticed that all of these pieces that held on these broke. So it like won't even, yeah, you can see it literally just pulled away. I had it taped. That tape doesn't hold very good. I gotta figure out a better way to hold that in. Just some stronger tape someday. But yeah, so these are supposed to be made to where they'll open up and it kind of makes a bit of a wall. And so you can kind of make like a little fortress type thing to hide behind. Here's some stickers that came on this one. Honestly, I don't know if these had to be applied, and my parents maybe did it for me, or if these were like pre-applied. I assume maybe my parents did it, but I just never knew. I never thought about this stuff back then. Okay, and then there's a little place you can stick a character inside to kind of be operating it or whatever you want to use it for. And so here's the coolest feature about this thing, is it loads up 3 fire arrows. Oh, hold on. Didn't work. I didn't test this first. I know it works. There it went. Let's see if we can do it again. So yeah. So it still works, and it shoots pretty good. So this thing was definitely one of my favorites as a kid when I got it. Then, at some point, I don't remember like what order I got all this in, but this one's really cool. This is a cannon for the bad guys. Nice little sticker on the side. Repeated over here. Got a lot of nice details. Oh, it looks like it's made of wood. And got some metallic elements and stuff. And the wheels are detailed. Really cool. Rolls really well. Came with this guy. And funny story about him. If you can tell, right here in the middle, he has been super glued back together. When I was a kid, my older brother was oftentimes a big jerk to me. And he got mad at me one time and grabbed him while I was playing and literally broke him in half. And I was so sad and so upset. And I found some sticky tack and was able to stick him back together. And so I made the best of it, and I made it where he could be cut in half, where he could be easily like pulled apart. And so for years, that's how I played with him, is that he would be my only guy that had the feature of being able to be cut in half, and then I could like put him back together for play next time. So, but then at some point when I was older and got it back out, even way before this, I must have super glued it because I kind of forgot when I even did that, but I super glued him back together. So now he's just a solid figure again. Okay. And so how this works is you crank right here. Whoop. It's hard to do holding this with one hand. Oh, there it went. So yeah, that one's got some force to it too. I really like that. Down to the last thing, almost. And so this, I love this guy when I got him. At some point he had got paint scuffs all over his body, and I don't remember honestly how that even happened, because again, I was not like the type to be rough with my toys or to paint on them or anything. So when he was in storage, there must have been something over the years that just pressed against him and just stained him, unfortunately. So how this works is it's got like just a little thing that reverberates in there. And so as you stomp him, it sounds like he's shaking the ground. So that's a really fun feature. He has a giant eagle that can be mounted on his backpack here. And then you can fly it into battle and grab people and stuff. That's what I used to do with it. And of course he's got a club. So this guy was always a danger when he would come into battle, because he was just stomping on people and smashing them with his club. So he was a really good addition. Now it's all chaotic looking. Everybody's dead. And so that's all of my Great Adventures Castle people. But just a few years ago, and my mom may have had it longer than that, and it may have been from before that, this was actually my nephew's that my mom had at her house. And this is Fisher Price, just like this castle, but this is actually Imaginext, which came many, many years later after all this stuff. But I have included it with the castle when I gave this to Clark, because it just goes so well with it. I mean, it's the same, like I said, it's the same brand. It's Fisher Price, so it goes pretty well. And the aesthetic, even though it's Imaginext and came so much later, it still fits really well. And so I just wanted to include this. So, must be turned off. Hold on. There it goes. So it's got this trigger on the back. You squeeze it, and it makes it go forward. So you can, we've had a lot of fun with this. He can like eat people, and it sounds like he's crunching on them. You can rear him back, have him go down. He kind of has some suspension, and then his wings, when you lift him up, gravity like automatically, the way it all works, automatically makes the wings come out so he's flying. And the tail can be posed just a little bit. So that's a really fun addition to this, even though it wasn't actually a part of this line. But I had a lot of fun with this over the years, and I've already had fun playing with it with him, and I look forward to having a lot more fun to come. So just wanted to do a review of this and just kind of talk about my experiences with it. Not a lot of stuff left like this. And like I said, if you can buy it on eBay or something, people sell it for quite a bit because it's just so old now and so rare. But that'll do it for this video. I'm gonna go get him out of his timeout, and maybe he'll be in a better mood and we'll play with this now. So if you've watched to this point, I appreciate you watching, and if you want to leave a like or a comment, that would be great too. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back at some point with another video.